basically what we've done today is we've cleaned it, brushed it, we've wet it, and the contacts have been coming through the drying sequences, so you're getting the different colours coming out. You can clearly see them in when it's wet, as opposed to when it's dry. So in doing so, we have uncovered a few different features going on over here. Where the pink stone is over there, we feel we've got quite a large pit, and another 2 pits further behind it.
Because are you saying it's just about so wide?
Yeah.
And then, because that's just where that sort of stone at an angle where the grooved one is.
Yeah.
That surfaces, isn't it?
Yeah, that side's not as clear, but I don't think it goes far that way.
So it's almost. Well, I wonder if it would go all the way, but I mean, you'd have to move those to see.
Mm-hmm.
Or it just ends sort of round just before it, perhaps.
Well, I mean, there's a feature coming into at least there. That ditch comes in. I don't know if it just goes straight through or not. Very poor to see in here.
Yeah, isn't it?
I think that ditch, like you said, it's our grid peg, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Where the black
straight along.
Straight along here.
Yeah, I mean, that's in it.
And this is on top of it.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. That looks very dark. So I wonder maybe there's potentially some more features in there.
That's all rubbly, isn't it? That's probably something else.
Could be possibly 2 post holes there, couldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that might be a feature, but then again, all of this platter material is also interesting and slightly suspect. I mean, that does look like a post pipe and a post pipe with bubble within the actual fills.
And you can see the sort of edge of it as well. This is probably
That'll be packed
surface,
in around an
yeah.
upright.
I think it's a hearth, so.
Yeah, I think the hearth is right the way around all this area here. Presumably goes back there somewhere. These stones are again probably part of it. Here and here, I would have said is something coming across. You can trace it along, going sort of through here.
It might make more sense when the hearth's off.
I think,
Yeah, going off.
Yeah, this is the first strike out of 21. It's really important because it's the earliest coin that we've had out of there. This is kind of late 800s, probably, something like that. So this is really nice. This is giving us a date basically for that layer. So it's really important.
Oh my words, where's that from?
Just your loose.
What is it? It's worked.
Is it a work stone?
I think so. I would say that's off a necklace.
It's a bit muddy, you can't really see it that well, but all the way through is pretty much red sort of clay, and that's a good sort of sign. That's samian ware.
The colour is quite distinctive as well, although you can't. African slipware it does look a bit like it as well, but I think it's samian ware. So.
Possible.
The problem is it's a base as well.
Yeah.
So like if it was a side, I would know it was, and everyone else would know it was, because they're decorated in such a way that you would know it was samian ware straight away. We're in 11th, 12th century layers, what we believe we are anyway, which that's what the finds we've already found and stuff with the shot cross penny. And the reason why we might have a piece of Roman pottery kind of in that particular sequence is that we must have a pit going on around about where James is.
This landscape is formed chiefly by glacial features that were wrought in the last glacial episode, so somewhere between 25,000 and 16,000 years ago. The Kaims, the Bradford Kaims themselves, are glacial relics from ice wastage, where the ice melted from the bottom and it was discharging long streams of sand and gravel in a riverine system. And as these glacial features were formed, there were also blocks of ice that died in the landscape. And these blocks of ice just filled in small basins, and they have survived ever since, usually by replenishment from lakes, rivers, streams, and even springs and so forth. They would have been very attractive for settlement through much of the prehistoric and the Middle Ages, because they were some of the largest lakes that existed in Northumberland. And they formed a series of larger and smaller lakes linked by streams that finally drained into Buttle Bay. These lakes reached a depth, we know, of at least 22 meters based on the cores that Ian Boomer has undertaken. Through time they began to silt up, but they silted up from the edges towards the center, so the open water was in the center of these lakes. And over the terrestrial deposits that the prehistoric people would have occupied, peat formed. So as we cut through the peat, we come onto the horizons of human occupation from different episodes. And because they are waterlogged, we get extraordinary preservation of bone, antler, timber, potentially even textiles, and certainly lots of animal remains that provide us with great information concerning the season of occupation, the types of animals that were hunted, their ages and so forth. So it's a valuable repository of data of the sort that was probably common on all sites, but are rarely preserved on ordinary terrestrial sites. 1.41 meters, and then 1 meter from there where they intersect, theoretically it creates
it's a right angle triangle.
a right angle, yeah.
One,
So let's,
1 and
yeah,
square root of 2.
exactly.
I'm just going through the spore heap to see if there's any finds we've missed so far. Mainly because I get really tired after doing the hard labour. Somebody's just gonna have to take a little break but do something useful. Yeah, a little more rougher than sieving, but we will sieve it later. Once we get down to layers that have possible archaeological features and finds. But right now we're in kind of more topsoil.
My principal interest is in the Mesolithic, which lasts from about 10,000 to 6,000 years ago in radiocarbon years. But because we wish to survey this lake bed and understand as much as we can, we're interested in all periods, but our principal interest right now is to go for some of the earliest material that would be in the region, and then we can begin to work out lake oscillations through time. So.
I'm a history student at the University of Florida. I study medieval European history, preferably Anglo-Saxon, and that's why I'm here. Because so many historians, as a history student, you notice that they know little to nothing about archaeology, and they don't incorporate it into their studies. And for me, it's just as important as reading what someone writes.
I used to travel a lot when I was young, and I'd always make it a beeline, not actual archaeology, but history in general. You know, that was the thing I was interested in, was like in Turkey, at Ephesus, and places like that.
But it's really good. I think I've learnt an awful lot, and what's fantastic about this place is that you get to handle a huge volume of finds, but you get to find them and you get to wash them, and obviously you have to learn how to identify them, and it's just really nice hands-on experience learning how to do a whole load of things, and I'm finding it fascinating.